All right. Hey, welcome everybody to e-commerce in QuickBooks Online, talking about PayPal, Square, and Etsy, and the integrations that QuickBooks Online has to use these tools in your business. And this is more than just e-commerce. It really is about using these as merchant services. So I'm going to be talking about it in both contexts. So while everybody is getting in and getting settled in, my name is Alicia Katz-Pollock, and I will be your tour guide. This slide actually says Top 100 Pro Advisor, but I'm delighted to announce that I just made it into the Top 10 Pro Advisors, so I'll make sure that's changed in your handouts. I'm a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network, and so I'm one of the national speakers. So if you're ever taking your certification trainings or other free trainings through QuickBooks through Intuit, I might be one of the voices behind the counter or one of the little elves answering questions in the background. Here at Royalwise.com, I specialize in education. I have a master's in teaching, and instead of teaching 8th grade English, I decided to teach adults things that they're actually interested in. And so that kind of led me to QuickBooks. And so at Royalwise.com, we have a vast video library, not just QuickBooks and bookkeeping, but also for Apple products and Microsoft Office as well. I've been Microsoft Office certified for like 35 years and QuickBooks certified for more than 10 years. And I've been Apple certified for probably 15 or 20 as well. I just kind of keep collecting certifications. And so at Royalwise.com, we have live webinars like this, and we also have a vast recording library as well. So also, if you go to Amazon and search for my name, you'll see that I have several books. I have a QuickBooks Online from setup to tax time. It's kind of a basic desk reference to kind of look up like, how do you make an invoice? So it's pretty fundamental. And then I have a more advanced book about specialty retail using QuickBooks for gas stations and convenience stores, and that's both online and desktop. And then I'm also a publisher for Questiva Consulting, and they write textbooks for community colleges and vocational schools, and I'm proud to say that I am their author of their QuickBooks Desktop 2020, 2021, and I'm just putting the finishing touches on a brand new textbook for QuickBooks Online. So pretty exciting stuff. But that's enough about me. Let's get on to why you are here. I do want to let you know that there are handouts for today. At the end of the class, I'm going to show you how to use our interface and get back to all the resources that you have that come along with attending this class today. This isn't just a one-shot webinar. We really try to encourage interaction. And so at the end, I'm going to show you how to get into our platform and where to find the recordings and where to find the handouts as well. And do stay until the end. We are due to be here until 12:30 Pacific time or 3:30 Eastern time. I do have a door prize for everybody. So we'll do a drawing of everybody who's present, and you must be present to win. The way that we're going to do this webinar today is, first I want to talk about the considerations with moving all of your sales out of your third-party platforms like your POS systems into QuickBooks. And then I'm actually going to do hands-on demonstrations of 3 of the integrations that come with QuickBooks that connect to PayPal, connect to Square, and connect to Etsy. So we're going to start pretty much with just information first, and then we're going to get into some of the hands-on things as well. So the first thing that I want to do is define what I mean by e-commerce. And so I'm using the term a little broadly here to kind of capture all the different ways that we take payments. So for some of them, it's you have a business, you sell a product, and you have a website where you are selling your products. And so examples of those would be Shopify or WooCommerce or BigCommerce or Wix or any software, or 3D Cart, which is one of my favorites, and it's very excellent, but it's one where your business purchases shopping cart software, and then you set it up to your parameters and you upload your products, and then you promote it independently as your own website. So whenever I'm talking about shopping carts or websites, I'm specifically talking about the place where you craft your own experience that you want your customers to have. Then there's retail marketplaces. These are destination websites that are designed to sell products. Amazon, Etsy, eBay, where you log in and you search for a product and you see what different vendors have made available to you, and like who's got the best price and who gets the best reviews. And then you choose what to buy and from who. And so those are what I'm going to refer to as retail marketplaces. Then there's also this whole separate concept, and that's just of merchant processing. So you have a third-party merchant processor. So maybe it's PayPal. So maybe on your website you have a PayPal button, or maybe PayPal is a payment gateway that your shopping cart uses. So your customers can either put in their credit card or log into PayPal and pay that way. And so PayPal is one of those ubiquitous ones that pretty much every business needs a connection for. Then some shopping carts like Shopify or WooCommerce may also use Stripe or Authorize.net as their payment gateways. And so that's a system where you sign up with a web, they're kind of integrated where you sign up. Some don't even give you a choice. Like when you paid for this class today, I have a shopping cart. That's our Royalwise website, and it uses Stripe as its payment processor. And so it kind of takes care of all of the sales and the income on the back end. And then we also give you the choice of paying by PayPal as well. Sometimes third-party merchants processing is a button on your website. So sometimes your business isn't even big enough to have a website, in which case you just say like, pay by PayPal, and you put a button on it that people can click. Or with all of today's technology, it's just on your phone, and then you can just say, hey, I'm going to log in and send this person money. So there's a lot of different ways of doing it. Now, Rich is asking, is one of these platforms favored over another? And as far as that last category of the merchant processing, sometimes you don't get a choice. Sometimes you just have to go with whatever merchant processor your shopping cart works with. Sometimes they do give you a choice. If the question is more about which platform is favored, like which shopping cart to use for your business, should you go with Shopify? Should you go with WooCommerce? Shopify is one of the biggest ones. So that's a great way of going. Also, Square now has its own shopping carts. You really can't go wrong with using any of those big ones. When I had a jewelry company, I used one called 3D Cart, which was just absolutely phenomenal. So there are other ones out there. If the question is more about which retail marketplace do you want to go with, most of those specialize in something, or they're known for something. Like Amazon is known for having the widest variety and being able to comparison shop. Etsy is known for handcraft. eBay is known for reselling used merchandise or getting good bargains, or finding rare and hard to find items. So there's different ways that you can choose which marketplace is right for you. Now, when you are choosing these, you also want to think about your audience. You want to think about how much work you want to put in. Like, is it good enough to just pop your products up and let somebody else sell it for you? Or do you need to craft the whole user experience? So those are the decisions that are going to put you in the first category of creating your own website shopping cart versus just listing your products on a third-party marketplace. With the e-commerce, you can, to some extent, use your QuickBooks Online as an e-commerce platform. Just to some extent, though, because it's not like you have a landing page where you can send people, but you can run your charges through it. So that's where QuickBooks Payments falls into the third category of the merchant processing. So now, the big question is, with all of those options out there, what's the best way of bringing it into your QuickBooks? What's the best way of bringing that data in so that you can analyze it? There's so many different ways that you can do it, and figuring out which one is right for you can really be a challenge. So when I'm talking about integrating it with QuickBooks, your goal of your QuickBooks is to see your company financials. Your goal of your QuickBooks is to be able to see your income, your cost of goods, your expenses, your gross profit, your net profit, and to be able to compare it month over month or year over year to make sure that you are growing and that your company is becoming more lucrative over time. The goal of your shopping cart is simply to manage sales and manage your products. When you're integrating it with QuickBooks, you need to kind of think about what your goals are. And for me, it really all comes down to reporting. with your QuickBooks, you could just treat it like a checkbook where you can see what your total income was and you can see what your total expenses were so that you can see what your profit is. Or on the flip side, you can use your QuickBooks as a full inventory management system so that you can see exactly how many products you have in stock and how much you bought them for, and all of the things that come with being a larger scale production facility. It always really comes down to figuring out where does the information live and where's the best place for it. So when you're looking at integrating it with QuickBooks, there's pros and cons to it. The pros of integrating your shopping cart or your POS system with QuickBooks is, first of all, the reporting, that it allows you to really run numbers on your profitability. And it also can be a data hub that sends information out and integrates with multiple different places. For instance, maybe you have a website and you sell things on eBay, and you go to trade shows, so if you have a lot of different places, it becomes that centralized data hub, and then you integrate with all of the different sales channels to bring it all together in one place. So that's the pro of using QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks as your hub, is that it becomes a real data hub for everything that you have going on, so that you can look in one place to get the big picture and get an idea of what's happening. Now, the cons of integrating with QuickBooks really is accounting software, and it's not necessarily designed to be a sales manager. So when you're setting up with QuickBooks, the first major con is that setup itself, that figuring out what is the right way of integrating the data, or working with these integrations and getting them set up so they do what you want them to do, and hopefully not getting it most of the way set up and realizing that it's still not going to do what you want. Then there's the maintenance. And that's keeping up the QuickBooks. Where is that inventory going to live? Is it going to live in your POS system or on your website? Or is it going to live in your QuickBooks and that information is going to push up to your website? So maintaining the information, making sure your products are up to date, that can be a con. That if you have several different sales channels, making sure that they all have the same information can make it kind of tricky. And one of the big things to think about is redundancy. If your sales software can tell you how many of what product you sold and who you sold it to, do you want that information in your QuickBooks also? So whatever you choose from all the things we're going to talk about today, the number one thing that I always look at is that redundancy. So the biggest thing as a business owner is your reporting. Like I said, you can turn to your e-commerce website or sales portal and get all the product sales that you need, who bought what, the customer names, what products, average sales, total sales costs, all of that. If you can get all of that in that cost, in that software, then when you integrate with your QuickBooks, my recommendation is that you don't bring in all of that transaction detail into your QuickBooks because you've already got it there. Instead, you'll do it more as a data import, not a sales import. You'll do it by managing the total numbers, but not the individual numbers. And then you just do your reconciliations to make sure that everything got all squared away. And I have to watch out with using the term squared away because square is one of the major things that we're talking about.